You cannot come up with an explanation. Try as hard as you may with a logical explanation within the box. You have to think about things that involve advanced technologies, number one, from ETs. Now, it could be ETs giving technology to humans at the time. That's also a possibility, that there are some humans that existed, like a segmented part of our population that does have advanced technology. We don't know about other societies that live within our Earth, that might live underground, for instance, or live beneath the Earth or under the oceans. We have no idea how advanced civilizations may be existing under these places. And it could possibly be the source of a lot of these UFOs come here. You often wonder, well, where did they come from? How could they travel through space so much? Well, one possibility is the portals they go through, but the other possibility could be maybe they didn't have to go far at all. They came from inside the oceans, or maybe the top of the Antarctica, or wherever the hole is that goes down under the Earth. So it opens up those doors of possibilities, and you can't dismiss any of them.
No, you can't. And think about this. If there's people living in the Earth, okay, maybe they're the survivors of when the Earth was rebooted.
That's right.
Think about that,
Think
James.
about Atlantis.
Yeah.
Atlantis. And we know that the human race did survive, and it's kind of funny that no matter how disastrous things have happened, that we've always came through, or at least a small portion of the population that repopulated the Earth, basically. But you don't know if part of that population that had the advanced technologies took it with them. For instance, here we had all the scientists, for instance, and we talk about that too. We talk about the scientists are talking about storing things in a certain place, or traveling someplace where all the best minds are together, and they carry on society after a immense disaster on the planet, or go to another place. Who knows that there were two groups of people. There were the scientists from Atlantis who knew the disaster was coming ahead of time and gathered everything together and went to a safe place, but continued to use the technologies that they had and continued to advance them. Whereas the other population of the Earth, the people that didn't have that, they used the technology but didn't know how it worked, ended up being the people that became primitives and through the ages. So now we have two different civilizations. We have the one that we have right now, that you and me and James and everybody else is living in. And then there's another civilization hidden somewhere that is far advanced of anything that we have on this planet.
Yeah, but I'm going to take it a step farther. You remember the original Time Machine movie? The original one, made, I think, in 59, 60?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. You remember the ones that went underground? What did
Morlocks.
they? Yeah, they turned into Morlocks. The civilization of the intelligent people ended up turning into creatures. What did they like eating? They bred the humans to eat. And boy, some of them were really good looking in that movie. But anyway, they bred them to eat. Now, think about this. If maybe some of the people has gone missing in the forest, missing all around the country and other countries, could be from creatures that survived. Maybe they're far advanced than us, but maybe they're cannibals. Simple as that.
Makes sense. Plausible.
Yeah.
Very plausible. Absolutely it is.
A lot of people are going missing. You tell me where these 30 to 50,000 people are going every year that the FBI can't put a trace on. Even Tom mentioned that the other day when he was on the show. Law enforcement can't figure out where these people are going, but they're going somewhere.
Right, and that's a big mass of people that takes up mass. So where's that body of mass going to? It just can't evaporate. I mean, are they drying them out and dropping them in a vat and burning us, or are they eating them, or you just cease to exist?
Well, what did the Morlocks do? They ate. They were cannibals. They ate. They bred people to eat. Well, maybe they're doing that with us and taking. Let's put it this way: if it's 30 or 50,000 in our country a year, now you figure out all the other countries: Canada, France, UK, Ireland. Whatever, Nova Scotia, whatever you want to place. Okay, it could be a lot more than that 30 or 50,000 number. It could be double that. Who knows? We don't know, because there's people go missing that no one gives a rat's butt and doesn't even bother reporting them missing.
That's true, and a lot of people come up missing. They don't even know you're missing till way after the fact. It's bad all the way around. But man, they sure got to be going somewhere. I bet all told, worldwide, is probably close to 1 million people.
Well, how many Morlocks could that feed?
That's a lot of Morlocks. Jeez.
Hey, I'm just saying, there's for any good thing you can think about, you can think negative. So I guess I think on the negative side, because something is going on. That's all I'm saying is. And we're not getting any answers from anybody. They're more concerned about proving disclosure than finding out what is actually happening to people. Duh.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And it's hard to even get information about those people, what they found when they try to search it and everything else. That's another hard thing about it.
I don't know. It's scary. That's what I can say.
It is scary.
I think people are just so distracted all the time that they don't think about these things, and it is frustrating, because there may be an answer out there. There might be someone telling the truth about something, but guess what? It's convoluted with all the other disinformation out there. You can't find the forest for the trees. You're trying to pick the truth out from all the stories on YouTube or alternative news sources and things, but I'll tell you what, nothing dismisses a good gut feeling about what's really happening. And every time I went against my gut feeling, I always got burned. So I've learned to trust my instincts. I think people need to start doing that and really know that something nefarious is going on, and we may have a situation like Morlocks eating humans.
I don't know.
Maybe we're the Eloi. You see what I'm saying? So there's different scenarios. There's the ET abductions and the possibility that we're on their menu. But then what about some other humans that went off a different path from the last disaster and developed like the Morlocks in hidden places that are also have humans on their menu? Well, it's really hard to say.
Well, look at this, Sam. Let's say there was a world war, and a bunch of people had their fallout shelters, like we have, the government has, which can hold a couple thousand people or more, like little cities, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, what happens then when your food supply starts running low? Do you just starve to death, or do you start looking, oh, well, that person, they draw straws and have a lotto or something like this? I mean, they want to survive. So what's going to happen? People can turn in to cannibals really easy. It's happened numerous times all through history, as far back as, who knows when. But it has happened, and it will happen. So if you got a group of people in an underground city, all of a sudden their food supply starts going down, well, maybe they'll start off eating the dead. And if that doesn't supply enough of them, maybe, then they'll start maybe venturing out and getting what left of the human race is walking on the earth. And then their society keeps growing, and then maybe like in that movie, they can't live no longer on the planet, on the top side, because they can't. Their DNA has changed through the last 10, 20, 30, 40,000, 50,000 years. So maybe that's where the people are going. I just say it. I just toss it up. I don't believe it, but I mean, it's just always a thought.
It's very plausible. And, another thing, once I think a generation or two and your genes get used to being a cannibal, it's like probably couldn't eat nothing else. you know, you're sitting around and people's looking at your ribs like, you know, like them cartoons where you got a picture of a chicken being cooked and your brain in the bubble there. It's like, that's scary.
It is. I just think about that guy I had on my show that is convinced he was a guest. He was convinced he was a real vampire. And I talked to his doctor, his medical doctor, before he came on my show. And his doctor verified that the guy has lived a couple years without eating food. He survived on his friends would come over and feed him. And what they fed him was their blood.
Oh.
And he survived on donors' blood. So who knows? I'm just saying the people are going missing, and we have no idea. Now, maybe they're walking too close to the edge of the earth and they're falling off, you know, because the earth is flat, right? So they're disappearing that way. Or maybe aliens are getting them, or maybe it's some creatures that live, you know, deep in caverns that maybe our government knows about and allows it to happen. Maybe they have technology. Maybe these are the aliens that we see coming and taking people and, you know, experimenting with them. Maybe they're trying to correct their DNA. Who knows what it is? I have no idea.
Maybe it's all the above.
I'm not a reporter. I'm just a talk show host. You know, entertainment.
That's right. Maybe it's all the above, Gary. But either way, if it's just one of them or all of them, it's still scary and very plausible.
It is. Now, Sam, in 1 minute, what are you going to be doing this weekend?
I'm sure I have a lot on my agenda. I got to work on some projects and just take care of some things around the household.
Okay.
So,
and James, what do you plan to do this weekend?
I'm going to do a little more work in my studio and a little tinker in the studio room and with stuff in there, and fix up a few things around the house that need fixed because it's now a lot of time in the house because it's cold, so might as well take advantage of that.
Yeah, at least you won't have to cut your grass no more for a while.
Yay.
Yeah. See, you were sitting there bragging about that 90-degree weather, 80-degree weather, 70-degree weather, and 60-degree weather. And when you started bragging about the 60, I said, just give it another week. I was right. I was right, buddy.
You was right. Of course, November was coming, too, so eventually it had to break. But anyway, it was good while it lasted.
Well, guys, I want you to have a great weekend. We'll talk to you both on Monday, so please, both of you guys, stay out of trouble.
Okay.
all right.
Okay, both of you guys take care. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
So anyway, guys, check out the website, www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. On any of the apps, please, if you're listening to, you know, on Apple, iPod, or TuneIn, or iHeart, or whatever, or Spreaker Radio, click like and follow, please. Everybody have a good one. We'll catch you on Monday.
You thirst for some significance of the both dimensional kind. You enter a realm of spirit, of sight and sound and mind. Your radio is a cosmic doorway and your psyche begins to spark. When you tune in to Gary and the Sun and Night Dreams After Dark.